What's going on, everybody? So the day has finally come. The Ghost of Tsushima PC port has finally arrived, and it hasn't seemed like a lot of time since the announcement of the PC port and the actual release. But I was looking forward to this because I never played the original game for the PlayStation 4 or 5, and it was one of the games on my radar. But of course, there are a lot of Dark Souls-esque and samurai and Japanese themed games that were coming out around that same time that sort of made a game like Ghost of Tsushima not stand out as much as it should. But after playing it for a couple hours, I can confidently say that Ghost of Tsushima is one of the best open world games I've played in a very long time. First of all, the navigation system is unlike anything I've ever seen before. The combat isn't just hack and slash. It's timing, precision, and you kind of have to be clever with your sword. Now, of course, a lot of people will tell you have to be clever with your sword in all different types of ways, but in this game, you have to really fool the enemy into thinking they can actually win at some point. The timing in those standoff moments are very special, and I honestly haven't seen that in any samurai game. And that's actually very surprising because with the samurai theme, you would think that standoffs would be like the major gameplay function. But Ghost of Tsushima is pretty much the only game to do that standoff formula, and I think it's just brilliant. After an hour of playing the tutorial, there's more tutorial, but in the form of gameplay. But let's talk about what you're here for. It's Ghost of Tsushima on the ROG Ally. Now, personally, I absolutely love this game on the ROG Ally. I play in performance mode with all of the settings high, with FSR 3.0 active, in quality mode, and of course, that sweet frame generation. Now, I'm not sure if I said this before, but FSR 3 frame generation is going to change the way we play handheld games from this day forward. Even after the Nintendo Switch 2 releases, FSR 3 technology is going to make the Nintendo Switch look obsolete with their frame generation, but I'm assuming DLSS is catching up. But right now, it's really hard to beat FSR 3 and its quality along with frame generation, especially on the ROG Ally. I get a steady 45 FPS almost at all times, and don't forget I have the resolution at 1080p with the graphics setting high, and the only thing that changes this and makes the FPS jump to 45 is the FSR 3 frame generation. This software is just a complete godsend. Sure, there's some hiccups and drawbacks to frame generation while playing it with performance mode active. You'll get the occasional stuttery sort of ripple effect whenever there's an icon on the screen, or just in the top left side of any game you're playing. For some reason, the top left side of the screen will just fidget and tear. And I'm pretty sure it's because of the amount of power that you're providing to the ROG Ally. But when you bump up the ROG Ally to turbo mode, then you can get a steady 50 to 55 FPS without those kind of tearing effects whenever you see an icon or in the top left corner of the screen. And to be honest, these effects are a bit distracting, but after a while of focusing on combat and just traversing the beautiful world of Ghost of Tsushima, you kind of just don't give a shit anymore. I think this game on the ROG Ally is absolutely amazing. Even when you disable frame generation, you still get about 30 to 35 FPS on average. You still get a considerable amount of frames. But there are certain corners of the world in Ghost of Tsushima that will drag the FPS down considerably, so having frame generation on at all times is my go-to personally. But yes, I think Ghost of Tsushima on the ROG Ally is brilliant. I played it for about 5 to 6 hours, and as you can see, some of my early gameplay of starting it for the very first time, everything I'm doing in this gameplay that you're seeing is the first time ever, so that's why I died in that one part. But I think that Ghost of Tsushima was well worth the wait, picking this up specifically for a handheld. I didn't think I would ever be able to do that unless it was on something like a freaking PlayStation Portal or something like that. But earlier today, I decided to go to the park and maybe just chill, touch some grass, literally, and play Ghost of Tsushima, and it was a spectacular time. I played about an hour and 20 minutes before the battery died because I had the TDP set to 16 opposed to 15. While setting the TDP to 16 to 18 watts, some of that jittery effect will disappear and you'll get a longer amount of battery, but it's around an hour and 20 to an hour and 30. But that was enough time to get plenty of sun, plenty of nature, and some time with Ghost of Tsushima. And then after that, I kind of just took out a book and started reading a book instead because, well, nowadays, since I can bring my games everywhere, I sort of just play games a little too much, in my opinion. So I'm just starting to not play games as much as I did before. And that's why there's also been some kind of silence on my channel, because I'm just looking away from social media and video games just for my own mental health. And I think everybody deserves that. But playing a game like Ghost of Tsushima, it sort of heals your mental health in a way, because the game is just gorgeous. It feels like you're looking at a piece of nature. And the combat is sort of mindless at times, but for the most part, it is strategic, and you do have to be very wary of what you're doing at all times. But yeah, my time with Ghost of Tsushima has been absolutely wonderful. I have zero complaints. FSR 3 and frame generation is really just kicking every AAA game's ass on day one. It's an exceptional piece of software that I can't wait to see what they do next with the following iterations of FSR. And I especially can't wait to see what FSR does with the Steam Deck 2 personally, and of course the ROG Ally 2, as well as the Lenovo Legion Go 2. But so far, this game is an absolute win. I give it a compatibility grade of A+. It astonished me. It's an incredible game, and it plays incredibly well on the ROG Ally, and I highly recommend it. So yeah, I'm just going to go back to playing Ghost of Tsushima. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good one. Later.